Have you been wanting to try a new brokerage but haven't wanted to sell everything to transfer things over? Well, I've transferred many accounts over using an ACATS transfer, and here's everything you need to know about it. I've tried a multitude of brokerages before I finally found M1 Finance, link in the description. And I love M1 Finance, but it took me a long time to get here because I started with Robinhood, I built a portfolio there, and I was afraid of how I had to incur taxes by selling stock just to try new brokerages. And I've heard this from many people before. I talk to them about M1 Finance and they say, well, I don't really want to try M1 Finance because I have all these stocks in Stash or Robinhood or some other portfolio. And they don't want to sell everything and incur the taxes. And what I learned early on was that I could use a thing called an ACATS transfer, the automated customer account transfer service, in order to transfer from one brokerage to another. The ACATS system is something that all brokerages support, and they have varying levels of support, I would say. So I'm gonna go over every single thing that myself and a couple of other people that I know wish we would have known prior to doing an ACATS transfer. I'm gonna put all the different sections down here in the timeline bar if you wanna jump around. Let's get into it. So the first thing worth knowing is that you can do a full or a partial transfer. You can transfer your entire portfolio or just a section of your portfolio. I've done this once. For example, at Robinhood, I had a few speculative stocks and then I had a whole dividend portfolio. I wanted to move that dividend portfolio over to Ally Invest, so I did a partial transfer of all of my dividend portfolio stocks over to Ally Invest. Now you just need to let them know ahead of time at the beginning of the process that you only want to do a partial transfer and what you want to transfer. And that's really that's it. Another very important thing that I learned late in the process with Ally Invest is that at some brokerages, this process will cost money. So most of the brokerages I've worked with, M1 Finance, Robinhood, I had a friend work with Stash, Ally Invest. Ally Invest is the only one that's actually cost me money. And I didn't know they were gonna cost money until the very end of the process, so that was a lot of fun. Now it was only $50, so it wasn't a huge deal, but it was a surprise. So talk to brokerages on both sides, the receiver and the sender, during this process so that you understand what's coming for you. The absolute scariest part of this process is when your money vanishes. It's happened every time I've done an ACATS transfer, and it's just absolutely terrifying. So the situation is you're transferring from brokerage A to brokerage B. At some point in the process, brokerage A is going to initiate the transfer and all of your stocks are just gonna right into thin air. Brokerage B hasn't, let's say, condensed the evaporated air yet. So they're not there either. So your stocks are just kind of in the ether, and it's very terrifying. Now just trust the process, it will get there. This is a very rigorous process behind the scenes. Listen to the timelines of your brokerages, and if things start to go longer than they say, reach out to their support and talk to them. But it's never not come through for me. But it is terrifying. How do dividends work during this? They can get a little bit weird. Now, the thing to remember is you're not selling your stock, so all of the dividends that you are owed, you are still owed. That will still happen. So the stocks that you transfer over, if a dividend, say the ex-dividend date is after the time of the transfer, it'll just all happen in your new account. If the ex-dividend date or the payment date is very close to the transfer date, your dividend may land in your old brokerage account. But don't worry, your old brokerage will either contact you about this money, or in most of the cases I've seen so far, they will just transfer that money to your new account for you. So you don't have to worry about dividends. They will happen. They just might land in a slightly different account than you would expect. The last one I have on the list is a little bit special for M1 Finance. These are M1 Finance pies. So I've done a lot of transfers from Robinhood, from Ally Invest. My friend has done one from Stash, all into, and we've done one from Wealthfront, all into M1 Finance. Now the trick with M1 Finance, because everything is structured with pies and there's a lot of automated investing going on there, is when you're doing an ACATS transfer from, let's say, portfolio A that contains Apple, Tesla, and Amazon into M1 Finance, you need to make sure that Apple, Tesla, and Amazon are all in your portfolio somewhere. They need to be in either just a single pick in your portfolio, in a pie somewhere. The percentage allocation, none of that matters, just as long as the name is there. Because if the name is not there after they unlock the transfer, they will automatically sell those stocks, and that's kind of the whole point you're trying to avoid here. So what I find the easiest to do is go and create my own specific pie. It's in the research tab, My Pies on M1 Finance, and you can just create a pie for your old portfolio, list every single name in your portfolio, put that in your new M1 Finance portfolio, and then once all that's transferred over, then you can adjust your portfolios or your pies to match however you'd like them to be in M1 Finance. Now that's everything that myself and my friends could think of about ACATS transfers. If you've done an ACATS transfer and there's something that I missed, please put it down in the comment. I will try and pin any of the comments that have really valuable information in them. If this was helpful or you think it might be helpful to someone you know, share it, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.